is, and it serves a purpose. You know, the Antifa that are constantly protesting, they are destructive too. They're not peaceful protests, which is your First Amendment right, is to protest peacefully, not destroy property. And during the Antifa, and then during the time of the inauguration with President Donald Trump, we saw an awful lot of destruction and burning and looting and carrying on in their protests. It had nothing to do with a peaceful protest or the First Amendment. And so I think you make a good point. There's more to our Civil War than the horrible situation that we were in with slavery, which we will not condone at all. We're just saying that there was more to it, and I think that they don't want us to know that there was more to it. It's always money. Always follow the money. It was always about money. And anyway, I appreciate the call and the reminder, Joe. Thank you. Going on here to this illegal immigrant and looking at ICE. Now remember the two phrases we're supposed to be thinking about today. The inmates running the asylum, and they're not going to make America great. So we have here where the ICE has a history of arresting and deporting Nazis in America. Now, they've just recently done that this week, and his name is Yaki Pali. He's a former labor camp guard enforcing a 2004 court order. The ICE went after him the same day President Donald Trump praised ICE and Customs and Border Protection officials at the White House ceremony. Now, it says here that he is at least the fourth Nazi that ICE has arrested. But it also goes in here and says that despite the court ordering of his deportation in 2004, past administrations were unsuccessful in removing Pali. They've been after him since 2004. Today is 2018. Am I correct on the year? It says to protect the promise of freedom for Holocaust survivors and their families, President Trump prioritized the removal of Pali. Through extensive negotiations, President Trump and his team secured Pali's deportation to Germany and advanced the United States collaborative efforts with a key European ally. So, for months, some Democrats, the majority of them, have been demanding that the government completely abolish ICE, which it charges with enforcing immigration laws. You know, ICE didn't make the laws. Congress made the laws. Many of them, I would imagine, who are acting Democrats, sitting Democrats, representatives, and senators today, as well as Republicans, were among those who put these laws in motion. And now they want to call them President Trump's laws, but they're not President Trump's laws. He just said he was going to enforce them. President Barack Obama did some. Many of the pictures they were showing of these young children wrapped up in their foil blankets in cages to keep them safe. I know that sounds really strange, but they're out there in the middle of nowhere. Were done by President Barack Obama's administration. Now, it doesn't mean we can't find a better way. Surely we can find a better way, and I believe they are. But these Democrats and Republicans that are screaming about abolishing ICE, it's because they're not going to make America great. They don't want to make America great. They don't want to keep Americans safe. They're okay with the murdering of this young college student. It doesn't matter that he was an illegal alien. He could have just as easily been a bad guy that was a citizen. But he wasn't. He wasn't. And he shouldn't have been here. And had he not been here 4 to 7 years, she might still be alive. Don't you think? So ICE is doing a good job. But the Democrats and some Republicans want to abolish ICE because they're not going to make America great. And it does happen to be the inmates running the asylum. Okay, now just to be fair, and I have the article here, I've got to dig it out. Just to be fair, not picking on just the Dems. They're not the only ones that think they're above the law. This is a California representative, Duncan Hunter, and he is a Republican. He and his wife were indicted by a federal grand jury on yesterday, on charges that they illegally spent, are you sitting down, more than $250,000 in campaign funds on vacations and personal items. It says in here they even did their dental work, their dental bills. Well, aren't you glad we can take care of them like this? I'm kind of embarrassed because, Hunter was one that really spoke out. I mean, seemed to be a constitutional guy, but he's lacking in integrity. Unfortunately, this is not outside the norm of the D.C. occupiers occupying offices and cutting deals. Every single one of them, I would bet, we could go back and check, and every one of them done something like this. We're going into a break. I don't know about you, but the inmates are running the asylum, and they're not. Not a one of them are going to make America great. And we will be right back.